This next video left viewers scratching their heads in confusion, and it did just that to us as we watched this woman have probably the creepiest night of her life. Here's what was caught.
In here, and yes, my fan is on. That's why you see it blowing. But what the hell is that? Why is it wrinkling like that? Like somebody's pushing it. And that looked like a face.
She notices that someone or something is behind the curtain. As the video continues, it starts to look more like hands pressing against the fabric than just the gentle breeze of the night. If you watch closely, you even see it transform into a face. Soon enough, she gets up to investigate and finds nothing behind the curtain.
During Woods, also known as the Screaming Woods, is found in Pluckley, Kent. Pluckley has been named the most haunted village in the UK by some. And those woods are no chilled out affair either, which is something Louise from the camper vibe had to learn the hard way. If she had given it a quick Google search before packing up the van and setting off, she would have seen that During Woods is not only known for strange noises or shadow people, it's also home to multiple unexplained deaths and disappearances.
This one about the woods itself is my personal favourite. It goes on to read, "The ghost of a local highwayman robber who was captured, lynched and decapitated by angry villagers in the 18th century is said to wander the woodlands. However, the most terrifying stories about this woodland are undoubtedly the modern ones and do not involve ghosts but disturbingly unexplained deaths, murders and disappearances. And I'm going to be staying here, alone, in a tent."
But without all that horrifying knowledge, Louise was ready to set out for a good old-fashioned camping trip. All was going well. Her dinner had been cooked and her pudding was ready to be eaten. But then something made her hair stand on end.
There is a lot of noises in these woods. Where's my spoon? It's getting cold. Oh, get that fire going, I think. Now the rain, I think the rain stopped. Or it stopped enough for a fire anyway. Sounds like kids screaming. That's just a train. Is it a bird or is it kids screaming? That's a bird. That's a gunshot. I don't know if you'll be able to hear a lot of this, it's pretty distant, but it sounds like kids screaming.
She attempted to brush off all the screaming, not knowing if it was a human or animal.
That's just a train. Is it a bird or is it kids screaming? That's a bird. That's a gunshot. I don't know if you'll be able to hear a lot of this, it's pretty distant, but it sounds like kids screaming.
But when she got a fire going and got into her hammock, all hell broke loose.
Honestly, I've never known a woods with so many strange noises. It's not just your normal birds and stuff and planes, there's a lot of planes. There's like this weird... Well, I don't really know how to describe it, but I'm tired, so I'm going to let this burn out in a bit, sit here and enjoy a fire for a little while and then, yeah, head to bed. The hammock's really comfy, thank God, so I should sleep well, I would think. Where's my big bean? What was that noise?
light on because I'm pretty convinced there's been a person or persons. What the I've never wanted the morning to come as much as I do right now.
We're no experts on sounds you hear whilst camping, but that sounded like definite footsteps to us. And all the haunted backstory aside, this is petrifying because of who Louise is. She and her partner have been camping out in woodlands for years, and she's very accustomed to all sorts of sounds. So the fact this freaked her out so much is very telling. It seems pretty likely that this was humans rather than some kind of ghost, which is scarier anyway, especially considering she is a solo female camper. But regardless of how petrifying her first night was, she stayed for a second for some reason. Do you guys think she came into close contact with the supposed spirits that linger in the Screaming Woods? Or was it a close encounter with something much, much worse?
Attending funerals can be a time to reflect on life and perhaps connect with distant cousins and other family members. But when the deceased decides to crash the party, you bet people would run faster than their family ties can pull them together. Take a look at the chaotic concoction that left many in utter disbelief. During a remembrance ceremony for the dead in this church, a deceased nun was caught on camera in the proceedings. Although no one noticed at the time, attention was drawn to a strange figure amongst the crowd while replaying the ceremony footage. Upon closer inspection, some suggest it appears to be a nun buried in the nearby grave. Was it truly the spirit of the departed, making a spectral appearance to pay her respects? Or was it an over-enthusiastic follower dressed up as her spiritual idol to partake in the ceremony?
This one's a bit mental, so stick with us. You've heard of ghosts who haunt houses, ghosts who possess bodies of the living, and even ghosts who still try slogging away in offices. But have you ever heard of a ghost who goes wild on the BMX? You might be thinking that somebody just pushed the bike with a hell of a lot of gusto. But how much power would you have to put behind that to get a bike to ride itself that fast for that long? Surely it would topple or waver at least a bit. The pedals aren't moving, so there's nobody pedaling, so what invisible BMX maestro is this? Also, why were they recording anyway? The bike's already travelling at the speed of bloody sound, so where would they get the initiative to whip out their phone and record it before it had zoomed straight by? Whatever happened here, it's interesting to say the least.
Seen those Instagram or TikTok videos where influencers shove their phone on the plane window and record a flight POV. Usually, you'd watch them passively and enjoy the relaxing clip, but when this one was uploaded, people couldn't help but jump out of their seats. Take a look and you'll see why. If this is real, then this is the most damning evidence of UFOs we have ever seen. It is clearly in the shape of a traditional alien spacecraft, but the one problem we have is that we don't know where the video came from, so there is no way to confirm or deny anything happening here. It could be edited, but it could also be real footage. But if it was, wouldn't we have heard about it on the news or something? What do you think? If you know the origins of this video, please let us know.
While kicking back at home after a long day, the guy in the video you're about to watch hears noises in his kitchen and decides to check it out. He thought he was being pranked by his mischievous friends, so he went to investigate while recording to capture that gotcha moment, only to be left dumbfounded at the sight before him. Take a look.
Hey guys, I've been hearing this really weird knocking coming from my kitchen for like the last hour. What the hell? No way. The hell?
Based on the initial excitement in his voice, he has friends or neighbours who can pull off the ridiculous, but he was shocked to his bones when he found nobody in the kitchen, only a cabinet that seemed to have a mind of its own. He immediately investigates the area pretty closely as if he has nothing to hide. Could this be caused by poltergeist activity or just a cheap trick? Our guess, the one-eyed mug did it. Responding to some bug disturbance in her backyard, this woman found something that made her wish she never stepped out of her house in the first place. Check it out. As she prepared to whack the insect into oblivion, she realized that it was a strange looking flying thing and ran into the safety of her home. Could that have been a dragonfly carrying something? A lunar moth? Or maybe, just maybe, a fairy? Although we couldn't get a close enough shot of the insect, we found another video that made our imaginations run wild.
A bit wet now.
Yeah. Really wet now. This is because it rained last night. This is an apple tree. And it's
Wow.
big apples. Very big apples.
They're still on it.
There's a
They
few
all fallen.
some there, and some there. Most of them are on the floor. And have got
Oh,
massive
yeah.
holes in them. What's that? Yeah. What's what? Yeah, look. Right up there. Insect or something.
Is that an insect? Let's have a look.
Oh my god.
In the beginning, the video was no more than some kids showing their father around their friend's garden until they came to an apple tree and spotted the most bizarre insect. What in the Mother Earth was that? At first look, it looked like a dragonfly, but when it took to the sky, it appeared to have a humanoid shape. Are these proof that fairies exist among us? Or are they insects that entomologists have yet to discover? We'll leave it to you to figure out.
You've probably seen stuff move out of the corner of your eye, but you always tend to brush it off as nothing. You weren't even focused on it anyway, so who's to say anything even happened, right? That's what this girl thought until she realised the thing she tried to deny to herself was caught on camera. If you missed it, don't worry. It's pretty hard to spot. So let's slow it down and zoom in. The tuber cream just twists around completely on its own. This is a tiny amount of activity, but that makes it even more believable. If someone were to fake a paranormal video, you would think it would be something big and shocking, not some tiny little movements, right? What do you think? Could this be the proof we've been looking for? Let us know your thoughts.
Get ready to have your reality flipped upside down. The footage you're about to watch has left even the most skeptical minds scratching their heads for answers. It's borderline unimaginable. Take a look. As Hyanahe from The Boys dazzled the crowd with his performance, eagle-eyed fans couldn't help but notice a mysterious hand resting on his shoulders, only to vanish into thin air moments later, with none of his members anywhere near him at the time. Whose hand was that? Was it a glitch in the Matrix? A sneaky muggle who stole the invisibility cloak from Hogwarts?
That's an invisibility cloak!
Or perhaps an extraterrestrial fan trying to get up close and personal with their favourite star? We'll let you be the judge of this one.
There's nothing quite like getting the boys over, cracking open a few cans and hanging out. And these guys were feeling those good vibes when they decided to get the guitar out and start jamming. But they didn't think they had an audience until they watched the footage back. Whatever was pressed against that window was either asking for an encore or warning them to keep it down. It looks pallid and tall, which are two things we normally associate with paranormal beings. But there are some reservations to be had when you look at how the guy controlled the camera. He panned to the window, and there was nothing there. Panned to the guitarist, and lo and behold, something appeared at the window the second he panned it back. It's a classic technique if you want someone to run on screen and then run off again. And with no real backstory, we don't know if there wasn't another friend at the hangout who did this. But how did they manage to make themselves so uncanny valley levels of terrifying? What do you think happened here?
Imagine taking a lovely morning stroll past your local church, expecting to taste the dew in the air and feel the breeze gently pass you by. But all you can hear are the agonised screams of hellish happenings within the church's walls. That's exactly what happened to the people of Buenos Aires, where a woman, identified only as Laura, was supposedly being liberated from Satan by Bishop Manuel Acuna.
Mi alma y mi mente, reclamo la sangre derramada del Señor Jesucristo sobre todo mi ser, y reprendo todo el poder e influencia del maligno dentro de mí y alrededor de mí. Lo recibo en el nombre de mi Señor y dueño Jesucristo, el campeón sobre el mar. Estoy seguro que el poder de la cruz del Calvario, en la cual Satanás y todos sus poderes vinieron a ser enemigos derrotados por medio de la sangre de mi Señor Jesucristo. Yo confío en las promesas de la palabra de Dios y en humilde fe. Ahora mismo me pongo toda la armadura de Dios y la habilita para estar firme contra las asechanzas del diablo. Señor, que nuestros pies vayan juntos, que nuestras manos recojan la vida, que nuestros corazones latan al unísono, que nuestro interior sienta lo mismo.
Lo quito y lo parto por el poder de Jesús. Rompo y deshago todo mal. He aquí la cruz de Jesús. ¿Dónde está la cruz? He aquí la cruz de Jesús y sus adversarios. En el nombre de Jesús. He aquí la cruz de Jesús. Huid sus adversarios. Aquí, Pablo, sale. Todo sale, Pablo. Eso, límpiale la boca. Ahí está. En el nombre de Jesús. Eso es. Ahí está. En el nombre poderoso de Jesús, te a la sangre de Jesús. A la sangre poderosa, la sangre de Jesús te sana. La sangre de Jesús te limpia. Hija, eso es. Ahí está. La vida que me das. Y este nuevo tiempo para encontrarte la vida. Amén.
According to news outlets, the woman had been taken into a church chamber after people had gathered to pray for her soul outside the Lutheran Charismatic Church. We can tell something is plaguing this woman. Much like all the other videos here, it could be mental illness taking its toll, or there could be an actual demon overtaking her body and mind. Her screams don't sound inhuman, but they do sound pained. She seemed very relieved at the end of the video. She collapsed backwards and wiped away tears.
En el nombre de Jesús, sale por tu boca, sale por tu boca, ¿dónde está? Ahí está, recupera ahí. Vamos, Paula, sí, eso, sí, Paula, sale, todo sale, Paula. Eso, límpiale la boca. Ahí está. En el nombre de Jesús. Eso es.
Acuna cradles her head and essentially confirms the exorcism is a success. Hopefully, whatever was causing this woman to lash out was liberated for the long haul.
There are so many urban legends about strange humanoid figures, from the rake to all manner of skinwalkers. It's enough to petrify anyone into triple checking all their locks at night. But that isn't enough to keep yourself safe if you're anything like this guy, and your idea of fun is exploring the back rooms. If you missed it, don't worry, it's pretty hard to spot. So let's slow it down and zoom in. There aren't really any defining features we can see in the split second the figure shows itself. We can't blame the guy, because if we thought some half-human, half-paranormal punch in the face was after us from under a bridge, we would be running for our lives too. But the problem here is that this could have been absolutely anything. We can make out arms and some sort of torso, but for all we know it could have been a homeless person, some kids hanging out, or even an animal. Or does this video prove the age-old legend of the troll under the bridge? Maybe it does. What do you think? Paranormal or something else? Let us know. This unidentified object was seen by numerous people in multiple different places, and there is still yet to be a solid explanation as to what it is.
Sí, es un avión, güey.
¡Sara! ¡No, ¡ven a verlo!
Está haciendo ruido, güey. Ahí. Un avión, coño. ¿Ves? Sí, es de lucecito.
No mames, no es avión, ¿cómo va a ser avión de tamaño, hijo de puta? No mames.
Sí, está altísimo, coño.
No, güey, no es avión, no mames. No chingues. El avión no tiene luz hacia los lados, coño.
Es por la, ¿cómo se llama?
Debería estar prendiendo azul y blanco, debería estar prendiendo rojo, coño.
Sí tiene color rojo, coño. Sí tiene, güey. Es un avión, coño.
This first video was taken in an unknown place, but they're speaking Spanish and the caption is in Portuguese, translating to, "They are like rats, slithering on the walls of the aquarium," which is so helpful. But the trail doesn't go cold there, because a YouTube video was uploaded just over a month later showing the same object floating through the sky in Brochure, France.
On en a fait devant, regarde, on en a fait devant aussi. Regarde, on en a fait ce côté. Non, c'est un vaisseau, ça, non? Yeah! Regarde ça.
Non, c'est quoi ça? Il y a un autre truc blanc. Mais c'est quoi ça?
Filmé, hein. Et c'est un vaisseau. Regarde sur le côté, il y a un truc en métallique, regarde. Filmé! Salut!
The post tells us that this video was recorded in 2022. So we don't know if the two videos are correlated because we don't know when the first one was recorded, as we're pretty sure it was re-uploaded. Some people seem convinced it is a real UFO, as there aren't any planes or jets in that shape, and drones and kites don't tend to glow bright white in the sky. There's a chance it could be something like a light flare from a rocket, according to one commenter. And after looking at some videos of rocket launches, the shapes they create due to the reflections and the chemicals from the exhaust do look somewhat similar to this. Do you think this is aliens doing a grand tour? Or something a little more explainable?
Imagine getting ready to go to work, only for you to find yourself in the middle of a real-life Harry Potter scene. It happened, don't believe it? Check out what this man encountered on his way out.
I've seen some really creepy stuff. But nothing like this. There's a palm floating right in the middle of the air. It's not attached to wires or anything like that. Wow. Only in Fresno.
Right before his eyes, this dude spots a palm branch floating in midair without any strings attached.
There's a palm floating right in the middle of the air.
Even if one were to suspend it with a wire, where would they attach it? Plus, we get a full 360 view of the area. There's nothing near it. Is this another glitch in the Matrix? If you have a logical explanation for this strange sight, be sure to share it in the comment section. Reddit user QuimboSlice20 shared his experience when he visited his aunt in the Iowa countryside to spend the weekend after years away. However, what was supposed to be a getaway offered more than just nostalgia.
I'm still hearing voices. Jesus Christ.
You see, he used to visit his aunt all the time as a kid, but stopped as he grew older. Even then, he revealed that he would hear disembodied footsteps in the hallways, whispering within the wall, and the whole spooky shebang. The house is ancient, built around the 1860s, and has a history that's the stuff of whispered folklore. With that in mind, our guy goes to the house armed with something he didn't have all those years back: a phone with a camera. After waking up to voices echoing around his room at about 2:30 AM, he immediately brings out his phone and hears a sound from behind her closet. Mind you, it's just him and his aunt in the house. But hold on to your stress blanket, because it only gets more terrifying from here. Trembling like a leaf, he clutches his phone as he captures what happens next. Take a look. The persistent, hair-raising knocks on the door make it seem like someone or something wants in. It's like a scene from a horror movie.
So creepy.
Only this time, it's all too real for our guy. Right after that, this happens. He hears the whispers of a child by his bedside, suggesting that whatever unholy presence was outside has now made its way in. At this point, he darts out of there and goes to spend what's left of the night in the car. While the guy appeared too shaken to his bones to investigate his encounters, the orbs that could be noticed flying around the video kinda added some credibility to his spooky backstory. But what do you think? Real poltergeist activity, or a paranoid man-child who was possibly being pranked? You decide.
When Joseph Chancellor moved into his apartment, he thought it would be his dream. Freedom, peace, and quiet. That was until he started noticing strange things happening around his new home, to the point that he just had to set up a camera overnight to check he wasn't going crazy. And the scariest thing, he wasn't.
What the was that? What the hell? Hold on, guys. What the hell was that?
He sounds completely spooked and apparently heads over to a friend's house for the night to cool off. There are many ways to fake activity like this, but he shows us every room that is down that corridor and there's nowhere for anyone to hide. So what happened? It's a bit suspicious that the activity happens almost immediately after he heads off though, but we haven't seen enough yet to make any rash judgments. After popular demand, Joseph made another video where he says he believes the entity in his apartment to be a demon rather than your run-of-the-mill poltergeist. And after watching this video, that presumption makes a lot of sense. While these events could hypothetically be the work of an invisible demonic entity, who are we to say Joseph didn't just run behind the camera and do all of this himself? With the help of a bit of wire and some fancy footwork, anything is possible. And the same question arises, why does the activity happen as soon as he walks away pretty much? It might be nothing, but it seems a bit too jammy. He seemed to challenge this belief in his next video, where he filmed himself sleeping while the activity danced around him.
The hell? Doesn't look like anything's in here, guys.
This is a much harder video to explain. He's quite clearly tucked up in bed the entire time this is happening, and why would he deliberately wake himself up a few hours into his rest just to make a paranormal video? It doesn't make sense. Taps can turn on by themselves for all manner of reasons, but that was a twist handle, meaning something must have twisted it into the on position. But who or what? The last video we will show you is perhaps the most suspicious of them all, and you'll see why after a watch. This video is so dark it's almost impossible to see anything. If you missed it, the cupboard door swings open and a lot of his stuff goes toppling to the floor off of the side. This is all very ubiquitous paranormal content, but something just feels off. What would his motivation be for these videos? He said in one of them that he only makes videos for people who believe, which might be more than just locking himself into an echo chamber. Why go to such lengths to fake paranormal content? The mundane horror seems to be exactly the type of thing a ghost demon might do instead of the huge events that happen in other paranormal videos. Do you feel the same, or is there another angle we haven't considered? If so, please let us know in the comment section.
This video you're about to watch will leave you more terrified than any paranormal video will ever be able to. Don't believe me? Take a look.
Happy Monday.
Hi.
I just came to come say hi.
Hi.
Because it said it was open, so I figured, you know what? I'll come to flirt to whoever is in here.
Oh, I'm waiting for somebody to get here though.
Oh, and I'll be leaving in 2 minutes, so at least it'll be quick.
Okay.
Squeeze it, you lift it, and then you bend it.
Okay.
What's your name?
Brenda.
Danny, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You're Brenda. What is the secret handshake? Here, check it out real quick. Stand up for me.
Okay.
Instead of me calling you Brenda,
Okay.
I will end up calling you Brandy.
Okay.
From now on.
Okay.
Brandy. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Here, squeeze it,
Okay.
lift it, and bend it. And then give me your left hand now.
Okay.
And say huevo.
Bueno.
Since I'm teaching you Spanish, I'm going to teach
I know
you.
Spanish.
¿De dónde eres?
Mi esposo es mexicano.
This creep walks into this woman's salon before it is opened. But if you thought this was already creepy enough, wait till you see what happens next.
And then move your arm up and down like this. Sea como aprendiste tu español.
Mi esposo.
Por medio.
Sí.
Así. Y ahora, levántalo. Y diga el mamón.
El mamón.
Y diga catarre.
Catarre.
Y después haga así. Así. Y después estire por los próximos 10 segundos. Vamos a contar. 1, 2, con este. Ven, córrete hacia acá. Yeah, no, que vamos bien, but I was like, nah, she's too chatty, even for hot sauce in every food.
I eat jalapenos like apples.
Really?
Yeah.
Like apples.
Yes, with every meal.
No way.
Yes.
Do it again. And go like that. So the reason I'm rolling it up is because I'm just seeing how strong the entire arm is. If it's either flabby or strong. You say, oh,
Oh.
how old are you?
I'm 42.
You don't look 42.
Thank you.
But you look, I would say 32.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Say, oh.
Oh.
Say, oh. Y diga, no es.
Noelia.
Why the hell would he need to know how strong her arms are? This is getting weirder by the minute. At this point, she's so terrified that she's willing to do everything he's asking, so long as he keeps wasting time until the client she's expecting eventually arrives.
Dame un abrazo. Aprieta. Y ahora, paso así. Acércate más, porque estamos haciendo un masaje de cintura. Eso. Mantén así. Y diga, oh. Doing the bicep form for her to get ready.
I have to go with my gun. Thank you.
Definitely. Nice to meet you.
You too.
All right, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Oh, and say huevo.
Huevo.
Ah.
Bye.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
All right. I hope you liked it.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thankfully, she arrived just in time because he was about to lead her out the shop. But did you notice it? He forgot his phone on her chair. So after he left, they checked through his phone and found the creepiest search history you could ever find on one's phone. Things like, where is the nearest police station, and how to kidnap and eat people. What an absolute freak. A pretty dumb one at that, since he forgot the one thing that would most likely lead the police straight to his doorstep. Be careful out there. Always lock your doors, even if you're just waiting for someone.
Ghost tracker and communication apps usually get shut down from the get-go, but the video this guy made using one was so interesting we just had to have a look. He didn't think it was real or that it was actually going to work, but he was soon hit with a paranormal punch in the face.
So this app, We Contact, claims to use AI to connect to the spirit realm and let you talk to ghosts. I am obviously skeptical, but I'm curious, so I thought I'd use it, give it a shot, and record myself. So let's see how this works. Is there a spirit here with me?
Yes, there is a spirit here with you.
Okay. What's your name?
You know my name.
I know your name. Alright, have we met before?
Why are you acting like this? Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling fine. Are you feeling okay?
I'm a little cold, and everything is dark in here. Why do you have the lights out?
It's actually daytime in my house.
I've been calling you all day, baby, and you've been ignoring me. If something's wrong, say so. Let's talk about this. It's making me very angry.
The picture falling over was a bit creepy, but it wasn't even the scariest part. Just as he picks up the camera and pans it down, look at the doorway. Who or what is that? There was nobody behind him in that doorway for the whole video, so where did it come from? Granted, someone could have been hiding behind the wall and just stepped out when he was shaking the camera around, but surely if they were faking a video, they'd go bigger than that, right? The other spooky thing about this video is the fact that the app he was using, called WeContact, has now been completely removed from any app or Play Store. We've googled it high and low too, and there is absolutely no trace of it anywhere. What happened here? Could a paranormal app actually work? Have any of you heard of or used this app before, and did you have any experiences as a result? Let us know in the comments.
God the Father, God the Son, God the Spirit.
After a few years of strange and erratic behaviour, Gina's family and the Roman Catholic Church decided the best course of action was an exorcism.
Destroying what belongs to you.
The prayers from the book he holds have remained virtually unchanged since the Renaissance.
Obey me in everything, although I am an unworthy servant of God. Do no damage to this person or to any of the people in this house. Lord Jesus Christ, send your Holy Spirit into our hearts and our lives, Lord. Send your Holy Spirit into our lives, Lord. Lord Jesus Christ, our living God. Stay away! I now exorcise you, most unclean spirit. You gave power to your apostles to pass through dangers unharmed. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit.
I was seeing a 16-year-old little girl, being screamed at and yelled at, and then had to fight with myself and say, wait a minute, there's something more happening here. Having been involved in similar situations, I know the reality of evil.
Those who have done good will enter eternal life, and those who have done evil will...
When I glanced from the book and looked into her face, you could see the hatred was so intense. At times it's very nerve-wracking to see that look glaring at you. Knowing that the evil that's present hates you so much. It's a frightening moment.
I don't want to burn! Sinners! The world is getting worse. More wars are coming.
Wars are watched.
Do you understand? Jesus
you make
is
an end of them in their sleep. The next morning they are like the changing grass, which adorns...
Father Labar voices the prayers word for word,
generated before all time.
watching Father A closely for signs of weakening.
His mother in time.
I felt the power of God, and I also felt the power of evil. In every single case that I've had to deal, I've had to confront fear in terms of the evil.
May God have pity on us and bless us. May he let his face shine upon us. May your way be known upon us.
Gina seems to switch uncontrollably.
That's when the entity started to manifest itself by speaking and revealing who he was.
My name is Minga.
Minga, I command Minga.
Can the person undergoing this say, stop, halt, I've had enough?
We have to be sure that...
But exactly what were the events leading up to this formidable footage? Who is Minja? Who is Zion? And what does she mean Jesus is going to hurt a lot of people? Well, This exorcism was included as a 2-part documentary in 1991. The film crew followed Gina's case for 12 months, but the interesting thing about this documentary is that they take the time to talk mental health experts, specifically Dr. Warren Schlanger, a psychiatrist who treated Gina during her 2-month stay at the Miami Children's Hospital psychiatric ward. He diagnosed her with reoccurring psychotic episodes. When asked about the possibility of her being possessed, he said this:
Gina was diagnosed as having recurring psychotic episodes.
In your studies, your actual cases and practices, have you ever seen anyone possessed?
No.
That you thought was possessed?
Never have.
Do you think there's such a thing?
Personally, I would doubt it.
Supposedly, the unknown mental health treatment and diagnosis did not help her, and she continued to act strangely, leading her family to turn to the local church.
I'm the mother. I see my daughter suffer.
Desperate, her mother turned to the family's Catholic church.
A church evaluation came back with one interesting list of symptoms. But strangely, if you noticed earlier, Carol Razzer, the psychotherapist tasked with evaluating Gina, mentioned how the family reported unexplainable horrors such as Gina levitating and being dragged across the floor by an invisible force. After the exorcism, they kept tabs on Gina and her family for 2 months to see if it had any adverse effects on her behaviour. According to Gina, it did, and they were positive.
While still on medication, Gina's just come home from her first days back at school.
I feel much better. Thanks to God that He liberated me from evil, and I had a lot of bad things happen to me in the beginning, but I'm much better now, and I'm very happy now. I feel free.
Seems like a pretty cut and dry case. The church expelled the pesky demons and saved the day. But as the years went by, and people remembered when this clip took the world by storm, the consensus leaned towards Gina's exorcism being a fabrication. While covering the story, the news anchor said this:
Share the church's belief that the devil is real. The church hopes that this may change some minds.
And Father Labar said another reason is to let the public see firsthand that the church can help those whom it feels need relief from evil spirits.
The church hopes that this may change some minds. This sounds a lot like she's trying to dissuade anyone from thinking this could be a church propaganda segment. A lot of other divisions of the church oppose the exorcism being televised. Reverend Richard McBrien told Newsweek televising this was indefensible. To sprinkle holy water over serious and complex problems is to trivialize them and to ensure that they continue. And if you look at the way it's all edited together, it comes across as a little crass. It might have just been a bit insensitive, but shoving clips of a teenage girl having a breakdown into a montage next to stock images of demons to the tune of O Fortuna just feels cash grabby. People's Magazine expanded on her struggles with mental health, confirming that she experienced abuse as a child and was traumatized by her parents' previous divorce. So as soon as the exorcism was finished, Gina was carted back to the hospital for 2 weeks, placed in the psychiatric unit and put on haloperidol, an antipsychotic medication that helps with schizophrenia symptoms such as hallucinations and delusion, which seems to be exactly what Gina was suffering from. Either way, the church labelled the exorcism as a success, and the 2020 episode aired. After this, the trail goes cold, as Gina and her family have never been heard from since, aside from one update offered by Father Libar, one of the people who oversaw the exorcism a few years ago. He said that over time, the church concluded that Gina was not suffering from a full-scale possession, but she was being attacked by demons instead. He believes that the exorcism got rid of them, but he acknowledges that she has psychological problems that she apparently still hasn't dealt with. Was this a true exorcism? Or was it propaganda perpetuated by the church at the expense of a troubled teenage girl? That's up to you to decide.
We can never rest at night if you're not trembling thinking about the paranormal. But now you're trembling at the prospect of UFOs zooming past your head. Oh, you're not terrified of the latter? Well, watch this and get back to us on that.
2 nights in a row?
As if that's not scary enough, it happened again a day later in a different place.
What? Bro, is that a rocket? What is that, dude? That's not even... Bruh. Is that coming towards us? What is that? Rebecca, are we witnessing something? I'm so confused. Bro, what is that? Bro, no, seriously, I can't even see it. Bruh. Dude, it's not an airplane. I can tell you that right now. What? What the fuck?
Are they being followed by some sort of alien legion? Some commenters seem to think this could be footage of 2 separate rocket launches, but surely we could make out some kind of distinct rocket shape if that were the case. And we would know full well if 2 rockets were launched one day after another in the same place. It would be documented somewhere. It could also be Mars, but surely it wouldn't be so bright and moving so quickly. Or there is a chance it is a satellite. One commenter gave a detailed description of why this could be the case. Considering we already know how reflections work in the night sky, this is possible. But if you believe we're not alone in such a vast universe, so is the possibility of something far more sinister watching us from above, right? What do you think? Let us know in the comment section.
Just before 5 AM in the pitch black darkness of a Colombian road, this dashcam caught something the driver missed at the time, but after being the witness of a crash minutes later, things took a terrifying turn as he was looking for the footage requested by the authorities. Take a look. What starts out as a pretty routine drive turns into a hair-raising encounter straight out of a horror movie as a figure dressed in white is seen walking across. This mysterious figure seems unbothered about the passing truck. It looks like a woman in a gown, but what the hell was she doing out so early in the morning? Was she sleepwalking? And why didn't the driver see her when she's so clearly visible on camera? Did he just manage to capture the paranormal proof we've all been looking for? Let us know your thoughts. It was stupid o'clock when this dude's Ring doorbell camera caught something he'll never forget. He was about to start his day when he felt a chill running down his spine for seemingly no reason. Not long after, he receives a notification on his Ring app about some movement on his front door. With uneven breaths, he checks the app only to find this. A strange figure walks past his front door like someone returning from a morning jog, but the camera only captures their feet. What or whose feet were those? Was it some sort of next generation stealth camouflage? Perhaps it was a glitch from the camera, or was it something far more sinister? Maybe the spirit of someone who was in an accident. With so little known about the neighborhood and its backstory, this one belongs in the pile of unsolved mysteries. Or what do you think? Let us know.
A huge thanks to Sandra Nicholas for sending us these creepy videos she took inside her own home. In her email, she asks us to see if we can come up with any explanations for the paranormal milling around her front room. So get ready to type in the comments your theories. Starting off with the first video she sent us. Just based on the video, we can't really see what it was that fell over, but in her email, she tells us that it was a sturdy sealed roll of sellotape. She said that there were no windows open at the time and the roll had been sat exactly there for 3 days with no issue. So what the hell happened? Unfortunately for Sandra though, the sellotape roll wasn't the only thing that went tumbling to the floor, because a few nights before this happened. And somehow, that's not all. Look at the footage she caught just before the modem fell off the windowsill. If you missed it, don't worry, it's a little hard to see. So let's zoom in and get a closer look. Some strange orb flew across from the chairs to the modem and just vanished into thin air. From a purely skeptical standpoint, the items toppling over could be something as simple as the vibrations from cars driving past, or even heavy footsteps that can disturb an item's placement and over time lead it to fall over. That is an incredibly boring explanation, but one thing we can never truly explain is the coincidence of that particular orb. There are all the arguments about it being dust, or bugs, or even light reflection. But there is something so eerie about how it goes straight to the modem, and then in the same night, it's sent flying. What do you think is happening in the front room? Can we, as a community, help Sandra understand what could potentially be happening in her house? Let us know your theories in the comments, and another shout out to Sandra for sending this over.
This man was trying to fix himself a late night meal when something rather bizarre happened to him. Something that ended up leaving his skin full of goose pimples. And luckily for you, it was all captured on his security camera. Take a look. Out of the blue, his once adorable pooch turned into a pint-sized vicious demon, going for his legs or something he saw that we couldn't. A sudden attack targeted at his owner for seemingly no reason. But did you spot it? Something else happened at the exact same time, and it threw a shroud of horror into it all. Did you notice the paper roll started moving just as the dog started barking? Reckon the dog reacted to the sound coming from the paper roll. Why didn't he bark at it then? And instead, he started barking at something we couldn't see. Something that seemed to be pretty close to his owner. Protective instinct. A mere coincidence. But what if a malevolent spirit was trying to harm the man, and the dog was only trying to save his owner by having him move to dodge something. We can't know for sure, but what do you think? Real poltergeist activity, or just an overreactive dog? Reminding his owner who's the boss. Make me a chicken sandwich, peasant. Imagine going to the mall to get some personal things. You pack your ride by the parking lot to head into the mall, only for you to return with bags in your hands and jaws nearly touching the floor at the sight before you. This guy was left in such a head-scratching situation that provoked him, and he requested to see the manager for some answers. However, after reviewing the CCTV footage, they were left with more questions than answers. Here's what was caught.
这个男的过去之后，车头先往这边移了一下，然后就腾空飞起来了，见鬼！看到了？你在缝里那个，看到了？问一下子。哎，刚刚把个缝把个寻找一个。哎，看到了？看到了？你这是哎，不变了，就动。
As the man walked past the scooter, it seemed life seeped into it and began to ram against the rail before toppling over. The incident caught the attention of passers-by as they stood bewildered at the spectacle. There's no way on earth anyone would leave their bike engines running while they're shopping in the mall. So what gives? How do we make sense of this bizarre incident? Could it have been a mechanical malfunction with a dash of Murphy's Law thrown in for good measure? Or was it a mischievous poltergeist? Desperate for a joyride on a Vespa it never got to experience in the land of the living? With open minds, be sure to share your thoughts and theories about this one in the comments.
Chances are you've already seen plenty of scary videos online, but be sure to get your spare pants ready because none of them will catch you off guard as much as this one sent to us on Instagram by our lovely viewer Abiodun from Kano, Nigeria. A huge shout out to him for requesting our analysis of this scary video. Take a look. Most paranormal believers would likely put this down to a very hyper office poltergeist with a thirst for destruction, but let's stop for a moment and try to figure out what actually happened here. After a little digging, it turns out that queries like "Can an office chair explode?" are pretty popular on Google. According to FlexiSpot, a reputable office furniture brand, office chairs can actually explode, though it's quite rare. The culprit? A failure in the pneumatic cylinder that adjusts the height, which contains compressed gas. So what causes this? Well, it boils down to a few key factors. Manufacturing defects, overloading, and excessive heat are the most common. But could this be the reason why that chair was shooting for the stars? Probably. But what are your thoughts? Let us know. And a big thank you to Abiodun for requesting our analysis of this video.
If the UFOs hovering harmlessly in the sky wasn't spooky enough for you, how about one with a thirst for violence? Check out this scary video someone caught out their window. Looks like Scotty isn't just beaming people up anymore, he's beating them up too. This video has no background in particular, so there isn't much research to be done outside of just analysing the contents of the video. It might be an edited clip of a lightning strike, which would make sense considering the thunderclap you hear as the video ends. But the thing that made us suspicious was the noise that the supposed UFO strike made. If you're an avid gamer, you might have already picked it out, but if not, it's the tactical nuke sound effect from Modern Warfare 2. Have a listen. Not to say this isn't raw UFO footage that's just been spiced up by a little bit of video editing, but its Cloverfield vibes make you scratch your head a little bit, doesn't it?
It's past closing time when this lady captures something she'll never forget on camera. One Saturday night, Around 7 PM, she decided to charge her phone in the bottom story of a 3-story arcade mall that usually closes its entrance to people around the time she was there. But because she needed to charge her phone so badly, she avoided the mall cops who ensured no one was left in the mall after closing hours. Little did she know, there was much more to worry about than angry security personnel. This is what her camera caught.
I don't know where the sound is coming from, but it sounds like haunting. I can't figure out the direction it's coming from. I think it's up there, but I don't know. It's all closed off up there. Bro, what? It's literally like I'm in the arcade. It's literally shut off. You can't even get up there. What? Feels like I'm being haunted. What are all these sounds?
While she was busy giving herself a grand tour of what the place looked like after hours, she noticed that the top 2 floors were closed off for access by barricade for renovation. But that's not all she noticed, as she began to hear the sound of children laughing and chittering all across the top floors.
I'm in the arcade. It's literally shut off. You can't even get up.
And that wasn't the spookiest part of the video, as she captured what appears to be an apparition on the top floor. Someone, or something, with long hair was stalking her from the top floor and darted out of view right after the camera spanned in their direction. Who or what could that be? Also, how do we explain the disembodied sound of children running around in the empty corridors at stupid o'clock? Real poltergeist activity? Or was she pulling the wool over our eyes? Let us know in the comments section. The scary video you're about to watch was captured by Megan, who spent the night at the Ronald McDonald House while her daughter had surgery in a Knoxville hospital. The building was built in 1903 and it's an historic site where multiple people have reported witnessing strange sights. Of course, after spotting something she couldn't explain, she whipped out her phone to capture the bizarre scene. Here's what she caught.
Like, I saw the shadows on the sheet change. It looked like somebody like somebody sat on the bed. I don't know, it was really weird. It was like somebody sat down on it. What the fuck? Did you just see that? It went back up. Oh no. Nope. Hey. I'm trying to sleep here in this bed. So, can I sleep here in this bed? Nope. I need it. So, oh god. What? Eric, I'm done. I'm done.
The bed. It looks like someone invisible just got up and then sat again. Did you see that? The bed was somehow pressed down. Someone had to be sitting on it to press it down like that, right? Also, the fact that this historical building is so close to a hospital makes things a little spookier. Could someone from the other side be paying her a visit, or is she pulling the wool over our eyes? How do you explain this one? Let us know.
Have you ever looked up into the night sky and wondered what could be out there? Or better yet, who could be out there? That's exactly how this scary video came to fruition. One night, almost a whole city was gazing up at the moon, astounded. All because of this incredible UFO sighting. Take a look.
With their phones, and this is what they're taking.
It isn't any kind of aircraft, nor is it a star. And what else would hang around right by the moon aside from aliens? Well, some assume this could be one of the planets in our solar system, and while that isn't at all a far-fetched theory, just imagine witnessing something like this with your own eyes in real time. Would you turn it into a case for Mulder and Scully?
There's got to be an explanation.
Let us know your thoughts about this one. You probably already know that tampering with stuff like the Ouija board is seen as a big no-no by some in the paranormal community, but clearly that memo didn't get across to everyone. Jai didn't believe in the power of the paranormal until they started getting their own back. I mean, asking for demons to possess you as he did is one thing, but doing it during a Ouija board session that he performed inside a well-known haunted building when doing a paranormal investigation at stupid o'clock? Great idea, dude. Take a look at what started happening in his house on one lonely night.
Ever since then, every time I'm here by myself, I hear shit outside. So I'm playing Rocket League. It's fucking... Oh, did you hear that? Oh, what the fuck? No fucking way. No fucking way. Hello? Is anybody here? Holy shit, they're fucking moving. Hello? Is anybody here? Oh my god, man. What the fuck? No fucking shit. Hello? I heard you. No. No way. No way. Oh my god. Hello? And I swear I just saw it moving here. So this switch. Oh man, I'm absolutely shitting myself. No. That can't be. Fuck off. Holy shit. Nah. This on. Oh no. Nah, this, I'm out of here. Goodbye.
From the horrendous hissing noise, to the swinging chandelier, to the disturbing dinner setup, something about it all doesn't sit right with us. Especially if you watch any of his previous videos, which show him doing stuff like this.
If you can move that for us, that will prove to us that you're here. Can you see that I just asked? Can you move it again one more time? Use all your strength. If you need some energy, you can... Oh my god. That's pretty fucked up.
As great as the content he captures during these paranormal investigations is, could it be why something is tormenting him inside his own home now? Did something latch onto him after one of his spooky paranormal investigations?
That can't be.
Or is he pulling the wool over our eyes? What do you think? Let us know.
Oh, did you hear that? Oh.
Late into his shift at the Santiago metro station, well known for its multiple reports of ghostly sightings, this man had spent most of the night sitting and staring at screens. With eyes heavy and mind wandering, he decided to take a stroll by the leisure area to get some blood flowing and snag a late night snack. However, as he gets there, he caught a chair moving on its own out of the corner of his eye, followed by a screen turning on by itself. With it not being the first time he witnessed something strange there, he immediately fishes out his phone and starts recording. That's when he caught something on camera he'll never forget. Take a look.
Oh, conchetumare. Oh, mierda. Oh, qué weá. Qué weá. Oh, cabrón, weón.
Did you spot the pool balls moving by themselves? Just as he felt a chill running down his spine, the cue stick decided to dive on its own too. But how does one explain cue balls coming to life? Is this why the Santiago metro station is known to be haunted? Well, there are many reports like this from that station, but perhaps the most fascinating is that of a woman who took the last train on line 1, alone in her carriage, or so she thought, because soon she noticed 3 passengers sat in seats that were empty when she got in, a woman and 2 kids, staring intently at her. Another passenger boarded and, after realizing what was going on, whispered to her, "Don't look at her face, get off at the next stop with me." Heeding his advice, she learned the chilling truth. A mother and her 2 children had lost their lives years earlier to a speeding train, and ever since then, multiple passengers swear to have witnessed the strange paranormal sighting with their own eyes. Reckon the Santiago metro station is really haunted with all these crazy stories. No wonder that man went running to his colleagues like a toddler scared by their siblings, after witnessing something like that.
Oh, mierda. Oh, qué weá.
One night while having a few family drinks, this person felt the house begin to shake. They knew a storm was brewing, so hoping to catch some cool lightning videos, they grabbed their camera and ran outside, only to realize that this wasn't like any lightning they'd ever seen before. After this post popped off on Reddit, a user posted their footage of the same storm exactly 15 minutes after the original video was taken, stating, "For anyone curious, here is footage I took of one of the pictured thunderheads in OP's video, exactly 15 minutes later and much closer. I grew up in Tornado Alley in Missouri. I've seen some impressive lightning storms, but the level of lightning I saw that night was pretty high up there in my experience." Creepy as hell, but it doesn't explain the strange little travelling ball of light mincing through the clouds in OP's video. Some people thought that the continuous side-by-side lightning strikes and the strange orb was some sort of godlike power, but others had more logical explanations. Quite a few thought the flying object was a bug. But come on, a bug? Really? That theory just doesn't sit right with us. Not anyone on the Reddit thread. After talk of tornadoes, plasma balls, and even aliens, a lot settled on one explanation. The OP had managed to see ball lightning, which is considered extremely rare. According to scientists, there is not much research available on ball lightning, but it has been routinely described by people throughout history, dating back to the ancient Greeks. From what scientists do know, ball lightning is a phenomenon seen by around 5% of the Earth's population, and it often appears during thunderstorms in quick succession to normal lightning strikes. And it doesn't have to be connected to another lightning bolt. Because of this, a lot of Redditors urged OP to send their footage to meteorologists and the likes to see if they could deduce what it was. But we are pretty much in the dark until we get any updates on the post. Still, if you want to know our thoughts on this one, from all the ball lightning videos we've seen so far, there wasn't a single one showing it move that fast, especially that high in the sky. What do you think though? Did any of the Redditors hit the nail on the head? Or is this raw UFO footage? Let us know.
In the paranormal community, there are a few big no-nos. Don't use a Ouija board if you know what's good for you. Don't leave chairs near your bedside, and don't get too comfortable with mirrors, because many seem to believe that they are portals to the other side. And these guys found that out the hard way. Check out what happened when one of them stared into the mirror for a little bit too long. If that's not terrifying, no idea what is. Your reflection is, well, your reflection, so it's meant to move with you. And that reflection was as still as anything as they moved and stepped back. So what the hell was in the mirror? You could be a bit skeptical here and mention the dreadful quality of the video, both in picture quality and lag. But surely there wouldn't be that big a delay, right? It could be a combination of that and the angle of the camera, or it could quite easily have been edited. They could have done some video magic and edited a clip in such a way that the portion of the person in the mirror was paused while their actual self was moving freely. But that's just a theory, because there must be a general fear of mirrors in the paranormal community for a reason. Do you have any hot takes? Let us know.
Hey, here's a playlist full of creepy stuff caught on camera for you to enjoy. Don't forget to bump the like button, subscribe and click the bell icon to avoid missing our weekly SPOOKFEST. Thanks for watching. Stay in the dark.